how you think. It's the vision that you have for what you want to accomplish. You know, some people want to climb Mount Everest. That's their vision. Someone else, like Michael Johnson, would spend 1,000 hours taking 1/10 of a second off his 400-meter time so he could win 2 gold medals, the 200 and 400, instead of 1. But whatever your vision is, and you know, we have 2 sets of eyes. We have the eyes that see everything that happens, and we have the eyes of the soul, which is really what's important to us, what we want to accomplish and what we want to do, and what our vision is. And once you have that, then you have to be committed to a process, which is the things that you have to do to be successful at whatever that vision is. It can be something as simple as, I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, it's easy to find a defined process of what you have to do that. It's not difficult to find. But the third thing, and the thing that most people struggle with most, is you have to have the discipline to execute day in and day out. Most people have a vision. They can define what it takes to accomplish the vision, but can they execute it? Do they have the discipline to make the right decisions? And what is discipline? What you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, the way it's supposed to get done. But more specifically for all of us, and I think what I use with players so that they can relate to it, is I have this little thing over here that I know I'm supposed to do, but I really don't want to do it. Can you make yourself do it? Then I have this little thing over here that I know I'm not supposed to do, but I want to do it. Can you keep yourself from doing it? Now these decisions we can relate to, all of us, because we probably make 100 of those every day. And those choices and decisions certainly determine whether we can stay committed to a process that's going to help us accomplish the vision that we have. So your mindset is very, very important. And once you can do all those things, can you stay focused on the process, or will you get overcome by the circumstances? Can you stay focused on the vision, or will you get overcome by the circumstances? Maybe you've seen it, I hope you have, but a few years ago when Chuck Pagano, the coach of the Indianapolis Colts, was a good friend of mine, got diagnosed with cancer, actually couldn't coach during the season. The team went on and got in the playoffs, and he did the locker room speech, where he talked about vision and circumstance. And he says, my vision is I can see my daughters grow up and I can dance at their wedding. My circumstance is I have cancer. I think that's the greatest example of what I'm talking about. Now we go out to practice and we're playing for a championship and it's cold outside and all anybody can focus on is the circumstance of the weather. This is what I'm talking about. Simple things. Can you stay focused on the things that are going to help you accomplish what you want to do? And to me, that is the most difficult thing to get young people, especially, to do today. And then, what about getting people to work together? Together. You know, you really have to have, and I learned this from Bill Belichick, you really have to define exactly what the expectation is of everybody in your organization and everybody on your team and what the standard is. Because if you don't do that, people don't know exactly what is expected of them. But once it is defined, you have to hold everybody accountable to that. Because mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people. And if you let those things coexist in your organization, you're never going to have any kind of team chemistry. And it takes a lot of leadership. And you know, what is leadership? First of all, be someone that somebody wants to emulate. Set a good example. And you cannot be a good leader if you don't care about other people. Because you have to be willing to listen. And just listen for 3 things. I say feel, felt, found. Know how you feel. I felt that way before. Here's what I found out. If you just do that for somebody, you will help them so much. And to serve someone else, you have to care. And you can't be a good leader if you're not willing to serve other people. And you know, a good way to just take a little inventory of this, and I always say this, is how do you pray? Do you pray to be blessed? Or do you pray to be a blessing? You know, someone else has to bless you. You can be a blessing every day in everything that you do, but it's really going to be about serving other people. that really makes you special. And you know, one thing that I'm really proud of this year is I think our team, you know, sort of epitomizes all this stuff that I'm talking about right now, because there was a commitment to a common goal. Everybody had a common spirit in how they went about that goal, and a common commitment to the standard of that goal. And our team overcame tremendous adversity. They improved throughout the year. And I think if you use our team as an example, and you use some of these same things, some of the problems that we have that I read about on a daily basis in our country, probably could be solved if people just made a commitment to a common goal. And they were together in spirit in how they wanted to attack that. And I'm really proud of the fact that we have a tremendous example on our team this year, and I don't even know if people recognize it, is in resiliency. Blake Sims. You know, Blake Sims is a fifth-year senior. He's an African-American quarterback at the University of Alabama. No one ever thought he could play quarterback for Alabama. He got moved to running back. He ran the scout team for 4 years. Scout team. Scout team quarterback, scout team running back. Only did he get to be the second team quarterback last year when the second team quarterback decided to transfer because he didn't think he was going to play. This guy worked so hard to overcome adversity. After we had the spring game this year, I had a 10-year-old kid come up to me and say, "Coach, if Blake Sims is our quarterback, we will not win a game next year." True. Made me scratch my head a little bit. But now we're talking about a guy that's led his team to the SEC championship, just got voted by his teammates, and it wasn't even a close margin, the most inspirational player on his team. And because of his inability to pass the ball effectively, that's why nobody thought he'd ever be the quarterback at the University of Alabama. He just broke every single season passing record in the history of the school. And he led an offense. And he led an offense that gained the most yards of any offensive team in the history of Alabama football. This is for a guy that no one thought could play. The 10-year-old didn't think he'd win a game. Because the guy worked and overcame every deficiency that he had in a way that I've never seen over a 5-year period. And I think it's a tremendous sort of lesson for all of us, all right, that vision I talked about, that process that I talked about, the discipline, staying focused on your vision rather than the circumstance that you're in. This is a great example of all of that.